I'm here on a job site with Tim, who owns his own electrical contracting business.
3 employees and 2 work trucks.
Tim traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance. We're positively here where he needs us most.
They sure are.
With step-by-step help on all his insurance needs, all for shockingly low rates.
Shockingly low, huh?
Just a little bit of electrician humour. Do you get it?
I got it.
You know, it feels like we have a real connection. All right, I'll stop.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. It feels good to Geico.
Welcome to Heaving Bosoms, the podcast where 2 best friends recap romance novels while crossing over and learning all about the T and the D.
Stack our shelves with the clinches out. Shout it from the rooftop, can you hear the sound? Yeah. Live your best life, love it out loud. Love it out loud.
Hey HBs, happy Monday! It is a super special day and a super special week over here at HBHQ, but we'll get back to that in just a minute. First, this week on Patreon and our Apple Podcast subscription, Sabrina is telling me all about the most recent Alana Khan rabbit hole she's been stuck in. It's all alien gladiator goodness, and the episode is a lot of fun. We're so grateful to everyone who supports us on Patreon, so please help me send a huge thank you to these perfect penguins: Kara P, Carla F, Frankie, Leo, Nat J, Charlotte, and Leanne H. All right, this week we've got a special event. The guys at the Overdue podcast are back for a crossover, this time recapping a YA romance. It's a first for us. We were so excited to catch up with them again, and I think you're going to love it. Here's part 1 of our recap of Legend of the White Snake by Sher Lee.
All right. The 3 of you are no longer allowed to pick books unsupervised together.
Okay.
Because this book did, in fact, make me literally cry the contacts out of my eyeballs. And that is unacceptable. And I was unprepared and supervised. Supervision only. Okay?
You know what? That is fair. That's fair. I accept the premise as well as the critique.
Yeah, sure.
But I gotta say, I fucking loved this book. Start to finish.
Amazing.
All the bits in between, the way that the different devices were melded together and brought back like over and over again. Jeez, this book was gorge.
I can't wear contacts. I have a thing about eyes.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
So I can only imagine what it would be like. I wear glasses, and I just, honestly, I think maybe I have an unspoken fear that this is what would happen to me.
You would read a romantic book about snakes, and you would cry your contacts
Or
out.
what if I was really into horror movies, and I was so scared that like my eyes popped out of my head, and my contacts flew across the room.
Well,
and
what else
injured
would
someone.
I mean, that itself sounds
Injured
like
someone.
kind of like a magical realism
nicked
sort of
him.
thing. Like, oh, did you
Yes.
hear about the girl who cried so hard that her contacts came out?
Yeah.
It filled an ocean.
And nick their neck just like the fan does. In
Well,
this
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm curious about, Craig, is what do you think contacts are made of?
Well,
that they
the
can
thing is, I'm just thinking about the velocity. Think about what is that thing in space when there's like little space debris and it starts going so fast.
Yeah.
That like,
almost, and then it turns into a comet all of a sudden.
yeah.
Yeah.
Effect. I'm
like
just
that.
so moved that the contact's flying out of my face. Right?
The thing about the communication is like it was our business entity communicating with your business entity, and so I'm honestly not sure like whose fault it is to to
All I know, I don't know who was involved, but I know that I wasn't because Melanie blessedly
Oh my God.
left
When
me
I
out of
told
it.
them about it, they go, "Where did this come from?" Because it was not one of the books that we had already spoken about.
And listen, I was okay with that. I trusted you all.
And
We're
you know
here
what?
we are.
Honestly, I don't feel bad that this is where we ended up. If I'm being totally real.
Listen, I feel like this book was legitimately worth the sacrifice of a pair of contacts. 5 stars. I loved this book.
Yeah, so this
Yeah, I
is
had a good
Legend of the
time.
White Snake by Sher. And this is our first YA that we're doing together. I'm very excited about it.
Yes. I was kind of interested to ask y'all about that. You know, we've read YA for Overdue before. And I don't know that we've read anything, Andrew, correct me if I'm wrong, that is like explicitly billed as a YA romance or romance fantasy, whatever, you know, whatever labels we want to put on this one.
No, not
Sure.
as
Talk
such.
about
Like
that.
usually we're trying harder to find something that's more like intentionally erotic or like grown up romance.
For this?
When we
Yes, for
record
this.
together or just
Yes.
for
Well, just like in
Overdue?
general, because our other big romance thing every year is our Horny Holidays episode, where we find the
Yeah.
horniest Christmas or holiday adjacent book that we can find, and we do that. But
Yeah. I mean, I think this should go I mean, it shouldn't have to be stated, but you can always ask for Rex. Like literally at
Yes,
any
of
moment.
course.
Okay. Just making sure
what I
that the
wanted to-
door's open.
What I wanted to ask though is just kind of like where relative to romance, as you guys are kind of experts, right? What is the YA scene like? Like how does White Snake stack up to your expectations of if you pick up a book that bills itself as YA romance? Like, is this kind of what you expected in terms of tone? You know, I
Okay.
just had no idea what to expect.
All right. Sabrina, do you mind if I take it at first and then
That's fine.
Okay. So, from my expectations, the YA scene in romance is deep and wide and vast and rich. It's actually like some of the best romances out there are YA. I don't really know why that is, because usually I prefer a door open romance situation. But I love a YA, and honestly, I would maybe keel over if somebody asked me to watch an underage sex scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I will say is that this book is hornier than I have ever read in a YA. Normally, it's more like, it's like a little bit of dating, like you might get a couple of kisses or whatever. But this one is like horny from the start. We've got one of these characters is a horn dog TM, and I'm into it.
So
and there's so typically in YA romance, you're not reading about the mysterious jar on the bedside table that's full of a thing that we don't talk
I
about.
loved it so much.
So
Yeah.
there were multiple times in this book that I did have to remind myself, they're 17. These are
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
Like this is a YA novel. And at one point when I was reading it, I literally have the note in my notes of, oh my God, no. Oh, thank God it's closed doors the morning
thank God.
after.
Yeah.
It fades to black,
It does
thank
push
God.
right up to the line, though. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is definitely a hornier YA novel than I typically read. And it was interesting that because the way that the characters are talked about too, it didn't feel like I kept having to remind myself that this was a YA novel throughout the book.
Yeah.
And it was really convenient though to be able to do that because occasionally I was like, why are you doing this? What are you doing? This is so dumb. And then I'd go,
Okay.
oh, but they're 17.
They're
That's
children.
why
Yeah,
they're-
right.
Like they're
Yeah.
kids.
It does help because the author very explicitly refers to them as boys the whole book.
Yeah. Yes.
And so I never forgot that they were children as a result. But yeah, I definitely agree. It's much more mature in that way than a lot of YA are.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That some of that I think might be the setting, like the fantasy setting too. Like it just kind of the Chinese historical folktale backdrop lending
Yeah.
itself to a certain expectations of how folks are supposed to behave. Like it's not a
Most definitely.
rollicking United States high school, right?
Right,
This is
yeah.
not,
That's
Like,
exactly
you know,
This
and
isn't
it-
band camp.
this is not
Right.
band camp. That's
Well,
not what we're doing here.
Every king or queen or ruler of an old timey kingdom was like 14 years old, right? Like on average. I feel
Yeah.
like people were
No,
just younger.
honestly, I had to look up Emperor I because it was referenced so many times that I needed to know if he was real or if this was like, just made up in the book. Emperor I did all that and more, like bag of chips situation, and then he randomly died at 24. Everything that he
Oh,
did,
so he had a good
was
long life.
24
He
when
had a
he
good
died,
run.
and my brain just kind of exploded when I like put that together from the birth and death date.
Sure.
Yeah. I
So-
think Craig has a little bit more on like the traditional white snake myth. Like I was
Yeah.
looking up some interviews that Shirley had done, and there are there's a lot of like copy paste overlap between different outlets. So this is one from the Honey Pop where she talks about researching for the novel. She says, while the world is not strictly historical, I spent a good deal of time researching the general historical time period which I based the story on. That is the 5 Dynasties and 10 Kingdoms era of Chinese history. I also studied many topographical maps of the Westlake, which is a major setting of the original folktale and this story, as well as iconic architectural elements such as Leifeng Pagoda, a significant location in the folktale, as well as my retelling. So I think she did, I don't think that she bent the story around the history too much, but it does seem like there was some effort made to make the backdrop as, like period accurate as it was possible to make it.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I really enjoyed from this book is that from what I pieced together where I think her time period is, Emperor I, he did have one main male consort. And homosexuality was something, especially in upper classes, that was accepted or whatever for a long time. But then I think that these characters are during or after the Confucian period, which had all of that. I made the joke earlier about filial love and like filial piety or whatever. And so apparently homosexuality became a lot more complicated at that point because of the like big emphasis on having a male heir to pass things down to. And I love that the book dealt with not only the overall acceptance, but also in like the first or second chapter, it goes into like how it's complicated now and how it might be a little bit more difficult to have that kind of relationship in his position. So yeah, it's very interesting, very cool.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting to think about too, because this is not what the original folktale is about, right? This legend of the White Snake, as we know it from what I could read, earliest versions go back to the 8th or 9th century, written down in the Tang Dynasty, and it starts as like a be careful because women are snakes. Like, just be
Pretty
careful.
ladies will get ya.
Like the first version, that one of the first versions that we have that was collected is like, from that 800, 900 common era, and a guy sleeps with a sexy lady that shows up, and then his family finds him later, and his body is turned into water.
Yeah, it's just
and
his head.
she's
in the bed,
gone.
right? Yeah.
And then later they find a snake in a tree, and they're like, "It's her!" And you're like,
It
"Oh
was
wow!"
her. She
So,
must
like,
have
what
got
it-
him.
Women with any sort of personality and agency might be snakes. You just got to be careful out there.
Yeah.
Incredible way to wet the bed, though. That's
I mean, truly.
what a
that's my
novel.
first thought is,
unique way
how
to
do
wet the
you-
bed.
How do you look at that? Like, I'm just fascinated. I love folktales in general, though, like the leaps and bounds that they make. That even happens in this book, where I was like, buddy, no one would have put that together. Like,
Right?
I'm impressed
When
that
he
you put
talks
that.
about-
Like,
when he talks about all the signs were there, that scar
exactly.
he had, like Bud.
Yes. I should have known.
okay, all right.
It was so cute.
I'm just gonna roll with it.
That feels very teenager of like, well, I should have known. I should have been able to see.
For sure.
We get into the Ming Dynasty in like the 1300s and onward, where there's another version of a guy who met 3 generations of women, fell in love with the mother, who happens to have killed all of her previous suitors. A
Black
Taoist
Widow.
exorcist then like performs on the women, and they all one of them turns into a snake, and one turns into a chicken, and one turns into an otter, and they're all imprisoned in pagodas. The end, like that's just how it goes. These duplicitous
should.
animal women.
I mean, how else? How
I
else
know.
is it supposed to end?
Yeah.
I know.
Isn't that the? That's the only
the
option.
natural
You're right.
course of things.
Then in the Qing Dynasty, we start to see we see some of the names that will crop up in this book, as well as the emergence of this abbot or a monk named Fahai, who in earlier versions is like an upstanding figure of morality who exposes the White Snake Lady and imprisons her as either vengeance for killing her husband, or for being a lady, or for being a snake, or whatever she did wrong.
Yeah, the biggest crime, having that vagina. Yep.
But then it starts to move into versions where the husband doesn't care that she's a snake and that they are in love. And we start to see an emergence of a version of this folktale where the Fahai character starts to become a little bit more villainous. Their romance is actually the point of the story. This second snake character, who in the book is Xing, she is the green snake in some versions. And there are versions of this tale where like she is actually the enemy or the complication or the antagonist. There's a 2019 version. There's an animated film that cuts out the Fahai character entirely, has the snake woman's memory wiped. And so then it is like this whole like, is she a good person or not sort of thing. And so it has really gone through the ringer in terms of like, okay, careful of ladies.
Truly.
To
Obviously.
a post-war, like, not quite free love version, but like a growing agency of women in the 20th century. There's a series of opera and stage versions that, like, Andrew, a few weeks ago on Overdue, we talked about the Jekyll and Hyde like adaptations, and one of them really being a crystallized stage adaptation that everyone now uses as their understanding of what the story is.
And the Nintendo Entertainment System version too. Right.
Which is, which is exactly like the book. You're right. And that happened with the White Snake as well. There's like a series of opera versions in the mid 20th century that solidify which is similar to what Shirley was working with.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the things I really liked about the evolution of the story is that when the snake lady starts to, become more of the heroine instead of the villain.
Yeah.
It's because she's able to transform into a human after spending like 1,000 years on the mountain, working on her virtues and her education and all that kind of stuff, so that then she can come down and she becomes like basically a medicine woman and can heal everyone.
Sure. That's a big thing, that they open a medicine shop in most versions of the folktale.
Yeah. Did you see the one where he dies when he finds out she's a snake?
He just like croaks.
He does. He croaks out of shock.
But like she does like bring him back or something miraculous.
She immediately brings him back. Then she gets knocked up. They go on a journey on a lot of these.
They really do.
I just like that this thing where a macabre, like gruesome old folktale gets like Disneyfied. Like I like that transcends culture and trademark and brand name. And just like happens to all kinds of stories over time.
I'm also just delighted because I was running fully on vibes. Very limited time right now. So I was like, I'm just reading a book. So I'm just sitting here like, oh, yes, tell me more about all of the history of these things. Because I was just boop-a-boop, bop, bop. cry, cry, cry. You know?
No, I love it. Well, okay. So should we start the actual like recap of the plot?
Yeah.
And go through
Yeah,
it?
let's do it.
I do
Okay.
have one comment real quick,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
about, so one of the things that Melody and I have kind of realized this year with a couple of books that we read is that it's hard to feel, not the, what am I looking for? Like the seriousness of an action scene or like the climactic point of a book where it's this.
It's hard to feel the stakes when you know it's a happily ever after, I think.
Exactly.
That's part of
sure.
it.
And the books we talked about with that were very much set in the real world, right? There's definitely, this is a fantasy. This is set in a fantasy world where all of this is real.
Yes.
And I started thinking, because I felt it at the end. I know we'll get there, but I felt it at the end. I felt the stakes, and that's part of what turned me into a fountain, you know?
Oh my God.
And part of me is wondering, is it just because it is a fantasy world where you can kind of play with the rules of physics and life and mortality and things like that? Like, there's a way to come back from... Oh, spoiler alert, I guess.
I mean,
sorry,
there
listener.
are versions of this folktale where people are coming back from the dead. So that we'll talk about
Yeah.
some version
Yeah.
of
Yeah. I will say that I almost went full undertaking of heart and mercy. HB listeners will understand that, because when we read that book, I had a full-on meltdown, and I was berating Sabrina via text message, and she
Can
was
confirm.
not available for my meltdown. Okay,
I wasn't available until it was already done, and she had realized that it wasn't actually the emergency that she thought it was.
And then I wouldn't tell them like what was. I was like, "You have to read it now. I'm so sorry. I'm just ahead of you, so you have no idea why I'm melting down." Anyway, yeah, I was almost there.
I think what strikes me about this is some of it is that it is a folktale, right? So I think you're right that there is the life and death is part of it, right? It's available to you. There's punishments meted out to characters that kind of set the stakes of
Yes,
like, gruesome injury to death being an expected part of what will happen to you. I will say I was also impressed by Lee's like use of like a couple of different characters for it might not work out for them, but it could work out for this other person. Like the secondary roster, and this is not a guarantee when you're working with folktales. I think this is what she has done to build out a couple of the relationships that like what might happen to the mom, what might happen to the snake sister, what might happen to the dad. That's all on the
other
table.
concubine, courtesan.
Yeah.
So even to your point, Mel, like there's gonna be a happy ending. It's an open question for whom,
Right.
and it's an open question for who's gonna get the bad ending, right?
Most definitely. And I think that folk tales, partly because of it, like Andrew was saying, it's over all cultures. They go from like crazy and morbid and people will literally eat you from under your bed to like Disneyfying, right? And so I feel like in a folk tale, I have many less safety rails, I feel like, in a folk tale. Like
Sure.
like I can't trust a folk tale as much as I can trust a lot of other things.
Oh, okay,
I guess is
okay.
what I'm trying to say.
makes sense.
At the end of The Little Mermaid, she turns into sea foam when you're reading
is
that
what
book.
I'm
You're like,
saying.
I didn't know that was possible.
Yep.
But I guess I have to go with
that
it.
this was on the table.
But here we are. Yeah.
That is a very good point. Like classic folktales, you're like, I didn't know to prepare myself to be upset this way. This is a new flavor of I'm upset right now.
Yeah, this is like I am amazed that they pulled the version that I know out of this.
Right,
honestly.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we open up in the prologue, and Xian is 10, and he's currently being held captive by a bunch of mercenaries. And his father, the emperor, is like setting up a hostage trade for what is called a spirit pearl. And they have the spirit pearl because Xian's mother got bitten by a white snake, and so she's been essentially like bedridden, and they haven't been able to find a cure. And the spirit pearl is supposed to be able to do that. So this book comes out swinging with like an action scene where this 10-year-old is seeing all these people like fighting each other. He manages to get the spirit pearl in his hand, and then while trying to get away, he falls into this local lake. And so he almost drowns holding this pearl, trying to save his mother. And then out of nowhere, the prologue ends with something slithering, coiling around him like a tentacle. Chapter end. Goodbye. Yep.
Now that I think about it, I don't know that we ever, it's never important the identity of the white snake that bit the mom in the first place, right?
No.
And it's not, and it's definitely not the same snake.
I had to disabuse myself of that like a few chapters in. Like I kind of thought I had missed something, and that was definitely the snake, and then it becomes pretty clear that is not important.
Yeah.
And no one is trying to connect that dot either, which helped me. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It also helped later on. They see another white snake that they're going to catch. And it's very clear that like that is a poisonous snake. Whereas we find out this white snake is a python that even though it has fangs, it's not venomous at all. So a bite wouldn't have hurt anyone. So yeah, just there are different breeds of snakes that are white in this universe.
And probably in the real world too. I don't know. I don't know that much about snakes. I'm not a snake guy.
Me neither.
I don't think if I've ever touched a snake.
Oh, I touched a snake.
One of my best friends had snakes, and I think he had a white snake, but it was a little wee baby snake, a little one, and it wasn't one that it does the little chomp chomp and then you die. If it chomp chomped you, you're fine. It just sucked for a second.
See, I've only ever seen like white snakes that are like also a tiny bit pink and have pink eyes because they are albino.
Oh, the albino snakes, yeah.
And then there are the yellow pythons, which are like, I think technically supposed to be white-ish.
Okay.
But my aunt had a 12-foot python when I was a kid.
Come on.
Yes, they named him Monty because they're the worst.
No.
And yep.
That feels a little bit on the snout,
Yep.
Yeah.
Right there. It's right on that snout. Yeah. No, but I loved Monty, and they would let me like sort of be under him. I couldn't hold him because he was so big. But they would. I know. No, really. I look back on my childhood, and I'm like, what the fuck, you guys?
Very vivid memory.
You made it.
Of one of those like reptile parties, the people who bring like reptiles or birds or something to like a birthday. And I have a very vivid memory of being like a row of 6-year-olds with a snake so big that we could not hold it ourselves, and all of us just like standing next to each other with it like draped across our shoulders.
Fun.
And so that's like snakes. They're big.
I dated someone in high school whose brother had a snake. And vividly, all I remember is that like they kept a very heavy rock on the top of the box that the snake lived in. Like that's all I was like, oh, the part of owning a snake is better not let the snake out.
Yeah,
like that's all I know.
My brother had an iguana, and that thing got out all the time. You just walk into a room and there'd be an iguana, like he had found the highest point in the room and was just looking at you from it.
Oh no.
Yeah, the one time I owned a lizard, we thought that it had gotten out, and we thought it was some kind of like Houdini lizard because we couldn't find it, and then it just popped up because it was doing its little post-food hibernation,
Oh.
Aw, cutie. That's fun.
Weeks later, by the way.
Weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we were like, okay.
That's a long time.
All this is to say, I could never be a snake guy, but I do respect snake guys.
I hear that. Yeah, most definitely.
There's some snake guys in this book.
Well,
I mean, you know what I
Cian
mean.
kind of becomes a totally different kind of snake guy because
He does.
chapter 1, it's 7 years later. He's 17, and all he does, his two biggest pastimes are having sex with boys in costume and killing snakes as much as possible. Catching snakes.
Hey, listener, I just need you to know that Melody says in costume. This is not some role play situation. This is just him pretending not to be the prince.
It's him doing Aladdin stuff.
He's all doing Aladdin stuff.
Aladdin stuff.
Like if Aladdin fucks.
I just I have this. Costume just brings a whole different image to my mind, at least.
I bet that if you gave Sian like a plume feather, he would do some excellent
obviously,
shit with it,
this dramatic. Of course he would. He would love the drama of it.
He would. Yeah, he's always, wooing boys without telling them he's royal, so that he actually knows that they want his dick and not just his station. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's really important for your young psyche. So, anyway, basically.
But no, he's also he's into catching snake and also catching snakes. That's you know what I mean?
Quite. Although we will have this discussion later on. I'm not sure that he's catching snake. You know what I mean? I think he's got a lot of toxically masculine.
No,
beliefs
you're right. He's
about
a little
about how a prince should behave. I don't know. Anyway,
pitching snake.
He might be pitching snake. Yeah.
Oh no, is this an embrace category now? Catching snake?
No, I think maybe pitching snake. Sabrina, come on.
So we also in these early chapters, we meet his best friend / bodyguard Fang, right?
Yeah.
Fung,
Fung, yes. Okay, sorry. We learn a little bit more about the kingdom. It's been split up into a bunch of different kingdoms, and he's the son of the king, but not of the king's wife. But it doesn't matter because the king just gets to choose whoever his favorite is, regardless of.
And he's
of when they
also
were
not
born.
the eldest either.
Yeah,
right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right. But he is his dad's favorite consort's son. Because of his filial love, everyone, okay? He married the noble lady that his parents wanted him to, but he still got to marry his childhood sweetheart, who is Xian's mom.
Listen, all I'm saying is that I don't think it matters if his childhood sweetheart is the mother of Xian, because looking at least one of his siblings, Xian would be my favorite too. The rest of your kids are assholes.
Yeah, they seem bad. We don't really get to meet any of the other ones, but I do like that this book has 6 characters in it who you need to care about, but they're all sketched in pretty well. I mean, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but both in folktale and in romance, you can have secondary, tertiary characters who are nothing, just don't read as anything. And in this book, you only get a little bit of most of them, but they're set up quickly and economically enough that you're in for it, I think.
Most definitely. Yeah. You're invested for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's made clear pretty early on that he does not have any feelings for Feng, or is not they're not going to cross that line together. They are more brothers than anything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is a useful relationship to have as you build the rest of the story around.
But I
quest.
do love that Xian is so horny that he can't help but be look, my best friend is hot. Capital H hot. Would normally do him. Like him too much to lose him if I do him, so I'm not doing him. I love him.
I think about that. There's a line in a honestly not great episode of The Office, but it is a line that I think is good. Where I think they're all talking about Hilary Swank for some reason and whether she's hot or not, which is obviously just one of those sitcom things where it's the writers talked about this for 6 hours and then decided that they had to make it be part of the TV show that they work on. But Kevin says of her.
Do you not just sit around talking about whether or not?
Oh, I do. I just don't put it. I don't put it on. I don't put it on television. I don't put it on television. That's the difference.
All right.
And Kevin says of her that
but
he can think that a painting is beautiful, but he doesn't want to bang a painting, and that's what I think that. The Jean thinks about Feng is he thinks that Feng is beautiful, but does not want to bang Feng.
Yeah, there's no carnal longing there whatsoever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in these first couple of chapters, we find out that one of the like scholars and I don't know, guy who gives his dad like a bunch of advice. What are those called? Counselors?
An advisor?
Oh,
I can only think of a vizier
Wow.
because we're
He's not
talking
a-
about
I don't think
evil
he's a
ones.
vizier.
Yeah, but
I
he's
don't
like
know.
evil though.
He is playing the role of scheming vizier, though. Yeah.
Did you
Right.
clock him as evil
No,
from the
I-
beginning?
I did
not
not.
immediately. No,
Not at
no.
all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I felt so proud of myself for figuring it
Yeah.
out somewhat into, like, not that far into the book, and then the big plot twist did in fact slap
Whack
me
me
across
right in
the
the
face.
face. Yes.
I was like, oh man, look, like it was. Oh man, it was
Walloped
so
me.
well done because I was like, oh yeah, I feel so smart because like I
Uh-huh.
figured it out and I know what's going on. And then it happened and I was like, well, I'm not
didn't see that one.
seeing coming up with putting all of the dots together. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm still not a Sherlock Holmes, is what I had to say to myself. Yeah, but anyway, the advisor Fahai has just gotten back from a visit to the Oracle, and Cien thinks that it might be about his mom. So he goes running back to the palace after this snake hunt. He bursts into his dad's chambers, which is like not a thing that anybody is allowed to do. And this is the time period of like corporal punishment to the point of near death and requiring people to die by suicide for like reasons we would not understand today, you know?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
it's scary to do something like burst in on his dad.
Yeah.
And he's like, what happened with the Oracle? And he ends up finding out that Fahai went and the Oracle told him that they would find the cure for his mom in a neighboring, like, vassal state called Changla.
Yeah.
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 And so he immediately is like, I volunteer as tribute. I have to go. Please give me the mission. And his dad doesn't want him to because, like, he's 17, you know? And in this time, sure, that's 40. But he still is like, you've never done anything important diplomatically. But he knows where all the sneaky, this made me laugh so hard. There are apparently like upside down jars below some of the tiles in the room. And he knows where all the biggest ones are. So when he like bonks his head down doing a big bow, it makes this resonant sound. And that is supposed to be like, you're definitely going to get the Emperor's favor. It's like so old type mean cool. Anyway, he bonks his head on the biggest one, okay? And it resounds all over the place. And his dad's like, you know what? Fine. You can have the mission. Don't let your mom die. This is up to you now.
Which, like,
I also-
that's a light load for a 17-year-old, you know?
Yeah.
There's
he
a
has to go
couple
find the
things that-
cure.
In that interaction that I like, as I recall, is some of the his dad is not portrayed as this like totally austere, cold-hearted,
No.
distant father figure, which is kind of neat, especially in a folktale setting. That he like recognizes that he almost lost his son. He knows that his favorite consort, his son's mother, is dying slowly of this awful snake disease, and so he doesn't want to send him away and then like
that's
have
the other
something
reason.
happen to him
Ooh.
Yeah.
because that might, you know, precipitate or advance what is happening to her. And
Yeah.
you know, like there is like an actual kind of paternal care concern in addition to the like, we're sending you. Are you the important prince? Like, I don't know yet that you're ready yet.
Yeah, he
Totally.
explicitly gets like a king mode and a dad mode that he gets to
Yeah.
operate in. And the
Yeah.
book
Yes.
tells you a couple different times, like, you know, he chose to deal with this as a father instead of as a king, and like that's
Yes.
why it was societally okay for him to react in this way.
Yeah, well, and I think by this point, Xian has also told us that he was told at 4 years old that he's not allowed to cry because princes don't cry. So it is very cool to see this, although incredibly reserved kind of expression of love. There is a lot of that there, for sure.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
It's neat. It's neat.
Yeah, he wants to send a
absolutely.
disposable one. It's fine.
No, stop it. Well, no, because remember, in this province, they don't go by, you know, family line or whatever. And so in this throne room that he busts into, there's a picture like behind him, and behind that picture is a box that has the name of his successor written down in it, allegedly.
Yeah.
And so,
And don't you
deal
look in
or
that
no
box.
deal suitcases
No,
back
don't
there?
look in
Like,
there.
what is
Don't look
that?
in there.
I would need to be sent to the province of Min just so that I don't end up dying via
Yes.
being a nosy little bitch.
yes, because it's punishable by death to open this
Yeah.
box before the emperor dies
Yeah,
to find
hey,
out
Dad,
who the
you need to
successor
send
is.
me so that your favorite child doesn't die. You know?
Truly.
And there are allusions to like everyone in that like town, city, state, like knows about the box.
Right.
Everyone's like talking about the box. Like
Yeah.
What's in the
everyone wants to
box?
know.
Is this
Yeah.
not how y'all have set up like your last will and testament? Like you didn't make it so that if anybody looks at
That's
it, you
fair.
get to
I mean,
you get to kill them?
yeah, but
Huh.
the dogs can't reach the box.
Yet.
It's true. Until they set up a portal to that box, Sabrina. No, I've always decided that if I ever like really hit the lottery, get rich, whatever, my will is going to be a worldwide scavenger hunt of some kind, just to fuck with
Oh
them.
yeah. That's a good
You
way
know?
to do it.
Geocaching. Yeah.
I was just gonna say
Kinda.
geocaching. Yeah.
Thinking more of like a mad world situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing race.
I do
yes,
need
for
to
sure.
have lots of people like racing each other for the
Ooh,
for the
yeah, I
right
like
to
that a
the
lot.
inheritance.
But yeah. So Cian's father, the king, does agree finally to let him go as long as he brings, his entire bevy of
Like retinue,
bodyguards
yeah,
and
mhm.
soldiers and Fahai, the advisor, and everybody yada yada. So before he leaves, though, he does go to the local temple. And it's not like the big, I think they called it the Temple of the Ancestors, which is usually the one that the royalty go to. But his mother was a commoner, and so he goes to the temple that she would have attended as, before.
Yeah. Before her
yeah.
snake bite, who knows? Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, the whole time he's like, I don't really believe it. Like, I'm too busy chasing Snake to care about any of
Care
this
about
religion
this,
stuff.
yeah.
But like, I care
Yeah.
about my heritage,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Sabrina.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, when he gets there, they make a very, very strong point of the 3 separate doorways of going in and out of the temple, because
Yeah.
the center is for spirits, and then I think it's the left-hand side is for entering, right-hand side is for exiting. And when he goes in, he speaks to one of the priests or
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he's called a priest in the book.
Okay, one of the priests who's there, and they do give him a whole thing like, yes, this is where you are meant to go. You will find the cure for your mother in this place based on what the gods have spoken, essentially.
Yeah, so he throws this thing. It's a
like-
bamboo stick thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a stick.
'cause there's
one
the
thing is
later-
in the
there's the
other-
later-
is in the other town. Yeah.
Yeah, there's the later
right.
one that you're thinking of. Craig.
Yeah, this happens a little bit later, but that's okay. But essentially, in this scene, when he gets that, the priest shows me Melody that he's legit by out of nowhere telling him that a concealed danger lurks nearby, but you've got protection from your mom's amulet. So, like, you should probs be okay, is the first thing the priest says, apropos of nothing. And then they do this stick ceremony of some sort. And he gets this message, even a powerful dragon struggles to overcome a snake in its native haunt. And the priest is like, the answer will make itself clear in a very, Confucian kind of way. So, yeah, but before that happens, before he leaves, his mom gives him that amulet. He goes to his mother's bedside and she tells him that she's so excited for his first diplomatic mission because the king is not telling her the real
Yeah.
reason for the mission, and nobody else is going to know the real reason. They're just setting it up as like a regular old diplomacy situation. Welcome to the vassal statehood kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
But she gives him this jade charm that I loved because it's a really deep green and like veiny kind of jade. And she's never worn it publicly because as a commoner, like she didn't have nice jewelry and she knew that everybody else would like look down on her for it. But she's still had it and it's had this protection charm from like her grandmother or something. So she gives it to him to protect him and it's the best.
And then we do a little bit of a scene change because we meet our other hero of the book. We have, how do you pronounce his sister's name, Melody?
Ching.
Jing, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now
Jun and
we
Ching.
end up zippy zapping to meet our new hero. Our second hero is Jun. We also meet his sister Ching, and they're both snake spirits, we find out. And they are headed to Mount Amei, and they need to do that because they're not actually siblings. He saved her from truly a certain death.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Somebody else who has better.
What?
Oh.
I'm about to go back and forth.
He was walking along a road, so he turned into a snake spirit.
Yeah.
Which then means he can turn into a boy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's walking down the road. And he also learned about all this from a turtle. We should talk about how he talked to a
There's a lot
tortoise.
going on.
There's a lot
Yeah,
going
I
on.
suddenly realized as I was conversing, and I was like, there's a lot. I'm going about this in the worst
Jun was a regular white snake. He was born a snake.
He's just a
Not
python
born-
boy.
Just a python boy. Couldn't turn into a boy.
No.
Yeah.
And then he had an incident where he got his hands on one of these magic pearls and wished that he could, like his turtle friend, know the
who saved
world
him
of
from a trap that gave him a scar.
From a snake trap. It's like a bear trap, but
Yes.
for snakes. Okay?
Yeah,
Just as much chomping as that one does. Woof.
he got this magic pearl and he I wish I could be part of their world. Like my turtle friend. I wish I could know what being human was like.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
What-
And so he does that, right? And then how does he transfer magic to Ching? Like how that part
So,
I am forgetting
okay.
how that worked.
So this is interesting because although in the folktale it says that the snake lady like takes thousands of years to cultivate all of her magic, Jun's just been at this for like 7 years, but he's a quick study. So he is able, after he gets the pearl he saves the kid, right? He saves Xian from the water, but then he sees that pearl, knows from his tortoise friend that it can make him into a real boy if he wants it to. So he chomps it right up. He doesn't even think about it.
Just like Pac-Man. Just
That's
chomping
exactly
that,
right.
power pellet,
That's exactly
and it's
right.
basically, it's kind of like that, the power ball in Pac-Man,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
it's basically condensed chi
Yes.
and power of, several hundred years. And so it's basically a speed boost for him to get.
Yeah. Yeah, so not only can he transform into a boy, he can also he transmutes object from one thing to another, and as his power grows, he's able to keep that thing as its transmuted version for longer and longer. And then the other thing he can do is heal other creatures. So when he comes upon this guy gutting a beautiful little green snake, he's stealing that snake's gallbladder for his hemorrhoids, he says out loud.
Gotta take it.
Yeah.
People like to make snakes into medicine in this book.
Jeez Louise.
Like everybody who's bad is just making snakes into medicine.
Truly.
Or musical instruments. That's basically it.
That's
Right.
true.
Two,
Yes.
two options for a snake.
Yeah. So he manages to buy this little tiny snake from this guy.
With a blade of grass that he transmutes into a coin, which I thought was
Yeah, it's
smart.
cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, good on him getting one over on that guy. That gallbladder stealing guy. So at first, his intention is just to like give her a nice death instead of being like skinned and hawked at a market or whatever. But then he notices that her little beady eyes are like there's something in there. There's still a light in there. So he decides to heal her. He's always felt guilty about stealing that pearl and leaving that kid for dead on that island. He thinks to himself, and so he's like, maybe I'll feel better about about everything if I use the pearl's power to save someone else's life. And in saving her life, he also turns her into a snake spirit. And now they're besties and siblings.
It is. Well, it's an interesting riff on the folktale, like you said, because there are versions, right, where the snake spirit character, usually a woman, right, is almost exclusively a woman, is a healer in some versions, right? But as you said, this whole like, oops, I'm a snake spirit now gives Jun this different perspective on how he kind of moves through both the human and the animal world, which is like a mix of guilt, a mix of debts to pay, a mix of pay it forward, you know, that sort of thing.
A mix of just like, I like being human is cool. Like I wanted to do this and now I'm doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's neat.
Yeah, and figuring out, because snakes are very solitary creatures, and one of my favorite things about the early chapters with Jun and Ching is that they're always talking about what snakes are like, and like when you're a snake.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I love it so much.
It's so funny. They're like, oh, well, like, you know, I had a mom that cared about me as a snake. And you're like, well, my mom, no, not me.
That wasn't the kind of snake that I was.
Yeah, vipers are the only ones that whose like mothers take care of their babies, and he's like, well, pythons just abandon their eggs, so like whatevs.
Like, what, Mom?
Exactly. But because of their, like, not only his knowledge of humanity and community in that sense, and then the trait they share as snake spirits now, it's really cool to see the bonds that they form meshing those two things together. I really, really enjoyed it. So anyway, they are on a quest, their own quest. They're going to go to Mount Ame because there is some healing stuff that they can get there.
Yeah, they're going to roll in the flowers, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, the snake spirits of yore have left some nectar and flowers that will heal them.
Yeah, and like snakes, there's a whole lot going on. I remember it pretty well because that was a point at the end of the book where I was sobbing my face off.
But yeah, they're both still just like residually injured from their various like travails, I guess. And they're going to go roll around in the flowers to get fully healed.
Yeah.
So this might be a question to bring up with y'all later when we've hit the part about the under pagoda, you know?
Yeah.
Where is the spirit pearl renewable in the sense of like the power that he gets from it? Is it just gone for good when he uses it, for example, for healing Ching?
Or it was pretty unclear on the spirit pearl logistics.
There's a little bit of fudging about how many
wishy-washy.
magic points this pearl gives you when you eat it.
It does seem there are parts in the book that do strongly imply that it's like 1 year per magic point. You have 500 magic points, and you spend a bunch of them on healing the snake and turning them into a snake spirit. And you use some of them to do your transmutation. And if you use too much of them at once, you get a nosebleed.
But as soon as it would be...
No, go ahead.
No, it's just as soon as it would be unhelpful to the plot to like get into the nitty gritty of quantifying how many magic points you spend to like turn a blade of grass into a coin. It gets a little hand wavy.
But toward the end of the book, I was just like waiting for these points to run out, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
The third act of the book makes the fact that it is somewhat finite way more
that's
pressing.
part of the stakes. Yes.
Well, and part of me wondered, because this book is in both points of it. So it's third person point of view, but it is dual point of view.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
like tight.
Part of me wonders if Jun did not receive the most accurate information regarding the
also
pearl was my
possible.
other thought. That's the way that I explained away, those things don't really add up to me. I'm not really sure kind of thing. I was like, I don't know that our narrator, when we're in his point of view,
you're
knows.
right. That's a great way to think. Yeah, which is an interesting way, because Jun is in this like position where he is like constantly teaching Xing how the snake spirit stuff works, and
Right.
like, oh, you can't do it for, it's very like Animorphs rules, like you can't do it for too long, you know,
Yeah.
like that kind of stuff. And then, but you're right, also he went to like one class with the tortoise who knew what the pearls were.
Yeah, he got spirit pearls for dummies.
Yeah.
Snake spirits
Yes.
for
Yeah.
dummies.
Well,
Yeah.
and I mean, something I didn't think about till right now is that you're right, Sabrina. It might have been extra inaccurate because the tortoise was essentially telling, I mean, my understanding is he was telling everybody about pearls to be like, keep a lookout. But the
Yeah.
understanding is you give them to me. So I don't think he wanted to make them sound too cool. You know, I don't
Yeah.
think he wanted to like really delve into like what the pearl could do.
And can someone remind me, like, what is, in addition to the healing on Mount Amay, isn't there also a like, and then if you're there long enough, you can like, there's like an ascension that happens to
That's
you?
what
Yeah.
that's what the turtle Fahai is figuring out, is like this is also jumping ahead. Do we care if we're jumping ahead a little bit on like some of the big plot stuff? I don't have
so
to do it.
normally, like the understanding is that snake spirits exclusively live on Mount Amay, and they cultivate themselves there for 1,000 years, and then when that is done, they can ascend to like the next level of
Yeah,
heaven.
like
or
Okay.
and I
Yeah.
thought that they
And-
had a few options on what they could pick. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it takes longer if you like go out into the world.
Well,
maybe.
I think that's also why everybody was near West Lake, because later in the book it said that West Lake is one of the purest, most pristine
That's right.
places for
Cultivation.
chi and
Yeah, 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 for
cultivation.
Ah,
And so
yeah.
I think that Mount Amay is a place similar to West Lake. There's just points where all of the universal strings all, cross up and
yeah, the ley lines and
it's-
stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think I had missed the like, if you go on Snake Rumspringa, it takes longer. Like I don't think that I
Totally.
Well, I
clocked
think it's
that.
more so that it's also just it's easier to focus because it's essentially
Yeah.
meditation, which fair.
Yes.
If you're walking around in cities as a human, there's going to be a couple of distractions that you're not necessarily going to have in a giant field on top of a mountain with a bunch of, dead
Yeah.
snake flowers all over.
Yeah. But they're
Totally.
wandering around as effectively brother and sister.
Not
Kind
one,
of at
because
the
the like short term time pressure is that these special super flowers only bloom in the summer,
Yes,
Yes.
they've got to
and
get
so you
there.
got to get there in time for the super flowers to bloom.
And
so
Ching
yes.
is a scamp. Okay, she's a scoundrel.
Real scamp.
She's always looking to get into stuff. And so she sees a tavern. She talks him into going into this tavern. They immediately get assaulted a little bit by a bunch
Yeah,
of
I've
dudes
played
in
D&D.
there.
This
Yeah,
all
no.
made sense.
They
No,
immediately
totally.
get into a fight with like
rolls.
the
Yes.
guys
Yeah,
who
yeah.
are singing the background in the Gaston song in the bar.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Yes. Yeah, and then they end up arrested and like chained in a dungeon. And
Yeah.
so when they're in this dungeon, he's trying to like figure out what to do. And the reason that they're arrested is because vipers have really hot tempers. And so when she sees her brother getting assaulted, she freaks out a little bit and transforms just enough to viper bite one of the guys. And then they're immediately identified as snake demons. And so they're arrested and put in this dungeon, which is kind of hilarious to me because do you not think the snake demon is going to transform right out of those cuffs? I don't know what these guys were thinking.
Do you think these people
But-
have met a lot of snake spirits to know that they can just
I don't know.
flop
They
back
were
and forth
immediately
so easy?
identified.
Yeah, they know when they see one.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, he finds out the coast is clear, comes back down, and Ching freaks out because she can't transform. Like she used
she's,
too
like,
much of her
stuck.
power. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she's like, oh my God, please don't leave me. And we find out that that's how she ended up separated from her family as a viper because she had a little pod with her mom and her brothers and sisters. But the scamp, she broke
Still
the
a
rules.
scamp.
She went out too late. She gets separated from them in this giant monsoon situation. And then she hasn't seen them since. Okay. And now and then she
I
got
thought
her
it was
gallbladder
super
stolen.
sweet in the book that they were like, yeah, the mom waited and left with
Yeah.
the kid, and all I was like, oh no, that family's dead, right? Like
The mo-
they
No.
probably died in
How?
that flood.
dare you? No way.
I
No.
don't think they made it. They got
No,
a storm
Jean-
threw
Jean
them
was
onto
like, yeah,
a
I'm sure.
gallbladder
How
thief
dare
and
you.
took all their
Mom waited
gallbladders.
as
Wowee, Craig. Wowee,
That guy had a
everyone.
great winner. Like he was like, yeah.
He's up
Like,
to his
I got
eyeballs
this
in
blade of
gallbladders.
grass. I've got 5 snakes.
Well, look, the moment I knew I was actually like in for it with this book, like I was not going to be emotionally the same afterwards, is when he looks at her and he goes, well, you know what? If your mom could have seen what a brave and loyal little snake you were in that bar tonight when you did save me.
Melody, I thought of you when I read that line. I was like, oh, I bet money that Melody is sobbing right now.
I wasn't okay. Oh.
I think Snake Mom would have needed some context explained to her about like what a bar was.
What a bar is.
but,
sure.
but still, yes, very nice.
What Gaston's backup singers are like.
Yeah.
No, I know.
It is also very folktale in that it plays fast and loose with like what animals do and do not know about human
Yeah.
behavior, nature, society. It is they know what it is convenient to know. They don't know what it is interesting for them not to know. And
Yeah.
there you go. Like if
Whimsical
it makes
stuff. It's fine.
yeah, if it makes for a fun conversation, they either know or don't know it in whatever way makes the conversation more fun to read. Like that's
Yeah.
just kind of how Shirley is rolling.
Well, and the next thing, like the important thing that comes out of this is that after this tavern situation, they don't have enough money and people are going to be looking for them.
Yeah.
So they decide to go up north to Changla to get work so they can earn money for like the next leg of their journey.
Like get a horse and go sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Quite. Yeah. And Xian manages to get there before all of the rest of his party because there were some road shenanigans that happened, a downed tree or something. So he is separated from his bodyguard when he gets to Changla. And all he has is
That was the most
Bahai there.
unbelievable part of this book for me. That Fung let
I know.
Cian out of his sight for
Yeah.
for
I
24
know.
hours. I thought it was bananas when it happened, and then the more I read the book, I was like, "There's no way he must have knocked Fung out
I know.
and like hobbled his feet." And then just took off.
Shirley is like, well, he did go with a few guards, as if to like kind of paper over the fact that Fung would let this happen at all. Yeah.
So we get there, and now it's time for Cian's favorite hobby, which is pretending he's not a prince and
Yeah.
gallivanting. And he does go to the stable, and this happens to be where
Ooh.
Jun has gotten a temporary job. Okay, so
Yeah.
Ching is working in the kitchens, he's working in the stables, and then he sees the most beautiful boy.
Well, and Sabrina, wait. The only reason he's going to the stable is he's got the most temperamental horse who won't
He's
let
got the most
anybody
beautiful
touch him.
horse.
Yeah, except for him without kicking everybody in the face. And so he's like, I've got to save whatever stranger is going to get maimed by my temperamental horse if they try to groom him. Okay. But then he sees Sabrina, he identifies him as a sexy boy.
Who's this beautiful boy? This beautiful
he's
boy
beautiful.
talking to my horse.
And then, he sees him charming his asshole horse in a way that is unprecedented.
And we find out later. I'm gonna say it now so I don't forget to bring it up later because I was delighted by this. Apparently, Jun can speak to all animals. That's
Yeah.
Every
his
one of them.
Snaky spirit, whatevers. And apparently, the entire time that Cian is pretending not to be a prince, the horse is just like.
Yeah, you idiot.
And then after Cian leaves, Jun's like, "Why were you laughing?" And the horse is just like,
No
You'll
reason.
find out. He's like, you'll
reason.
get it.
It's
I
fine.
know how this works. You'll find out.
I love him. Ah!
"Well," and
So
I
they
had
have
no
a meet
idea.
cute in the stable. They eat fruit together again, much like Pac-Man.
Yep. Uh-huh. I don't think there are
And-
apricots
oh
in
my God.
Pac-Man, but yeah.
Hold on. Did anybody else get the fact that like emojis are forever and always from this scene? Because the only other bootylicious fruit other than a peach. The only other like extra one is an apricot. Okay.
Apricot, yeah.
Huh.
And all of the fruit in this book, I loved it.
You don't
I
think
guess
that-
having them eat eggplants together in the stable would have
Yes.
been like too heavy hands.
You're like, how far can you get this down your throat?
Oh no! Yeah,
Well,
instead
so-
they share an apricot.
Yeah, so Jun ends up asking him on a little date. Is it Jun who asks, or is it Cian who asks him on a little date to go
Jun
gallivanting in
does.
the forest?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And ultimately, they make plans. Unsurprisingly, those plans do not go according to plan.
No. I liked this part of the book because it was like setting up a lot of dual identity. Like, do people
Yeah.
know? Like, Jun is like, well, I'm a snake, and like nobody knows I'm a snake. Like, I don't worry about that. And Cian's like, well, I'm the prince, but you know, right now I don't want anybody to know I'm the prince. Like, I worry about that. And like 2 scenes in a row, it's like, got rid of that. Like,
Yeah.
we move into, there's a big to do. Everyone is
There's
like,
a banquet,
prince.
the welcome.
There's like a banquet where the visiting prince gets to choose somebody to hang out with.
You have to hang out.
and- yeah,
Just
and he's
Oh my
stare at the
God.
jug next to the bed.
This is another moment where they're like, where he just apropos of nothing, he's like, well, as snakes, climbing's super easy. And
I
so,
love to be on a roof. Yes.
so in our human bodies, we do somehow make it on this roof so we can spy on the banquet.
And so Jun is watching, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, that's the prince. Like, that's
Yeah.
I was just like making eyes with the prince,
Well,
and like.
The moment where he clocks that is because they brought in boy consorts.
All the courtesans, yeah.
4
Children?
girls and 4 boys.
Courtesans?
Yeah,
Yeah.
underage. Children consorts.
For an underage prince, of
Yep.
course. Yes, right.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
okay.
Well, and one of them had already been
reasonable.
dangled underneath Cian's nose. He like welcomed him to be like, here's a little preview.
Is that Dung, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
Dung,
done.
yeah. Well,
Obviously,
okay.
the best of the courtesans, yeah.
Really quickly before the big reveal or whatever, he's talking to Ching, telling her about this cute boy that he might be like
Yes.
flirting with. And she asks him, did he push you up against the wall and flick his tongue against yours? Because that's a viper mating ritual. That's what snakes do to each other. And then later on, because he's like, okay, cool it, sis. Like, I don't need to talk about sex stuff with you or whatever. Then she says, wow, we've only been here a week and you've already met the first boy you want to flick your tongue at. Careful, soon. You'll have so many trailing after you, you will have to beat them off with your tail. The snake language was so good.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
also pops up at the most random times,
Yep.
which is the perfect way for
Yeah.
it to
Pretty good,
happen
yeah.
because it really just brings you into the butt. It's like, oh yeah, you would drop some random commentary that's
Yeah.
real snake coded.
Unfortunately,
Well,
I don't
and-
think there is a scene where Jun beats anybody off with his tail.
He doesn't.
I don't think that's part of
unfortunately.
I don't think that's part of any of the scenes.
No,
that
it's
we get.
closed door.
It's closed.
Wowee. Not part of the action scenes and not part of the action scenes.
But again, I was just surprised. Like, there's a lot of this fun stuff, but the book moves so quickly,
Yeah.
in a good way. I think
Uh-huh.
that like it's not a book about hidden identities in this way. Like,
No.
it really is getting you past this kind of like little bit where it's like, oh, the prince was in disguise. No, we know
Meh.
Jun knows he's the prince. Oh my goodness, what does that mean? And the prince is like, I want the stable boy. I don't want any of these losers. No, thank you.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we're right there. And so the only thing we're worried about is Jun is a snake.
Yeah.
Right.
Because like
Yeah.
it's also not long that they're together that Jun figures out somehow, I can't remember which scene it is, that
Oh, I
this is
know.
the boy
Yeah.
from 7 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
so it's really just when will we find out that Jun is a snake? Like, when will everyone
Right.
know? Like,
Well, I
Right.
think
Lee is moving pretty quickly, which I enjoyed.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, the
That's
stable
part of
scene is
the
really only there so that Jan knows that that Jun like likes him because he's a hot boy
For
and
him.
not because he's the prince.
And they have a connection. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, absolutely. And we also find out about Jun in this scene that although snakes don't mate for life, he's watched a lot of animals and he really is jealous of the ones that do mate for life. And really all he wants in this world is to find the animal or mineral or human or whoever that's
Mineral?
gonna love him for who he is and who he can do the same to. Really?
So when you
And
can
that's-
transmute rocks into stuff, I guess a mineral
Right?
Oh
will
my
do it.
God, I hadn't even considered. I hadn't even thought that far about the possibility
It
of those
lasts at
powers.
least a day.
Oh my God, you can get a lot done in 24 hours.
Oh my God. Also, as soon as he chooses the stable boy and not any of the courtesans down there, Ching goes, oh yeah, Prince definitely likes boys.
Well, and then poor Jun gets like the world's fastest, shittiest courtesan training when they
Yeah, he
go
does.
find him.
Yeah.
Like, and boy, that
It's one of those buff him up for the vampire scenes, you know?
It is.
Like,
That's a good
yeah.
one. Yeah.
For the
uh-huh.
vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And then we also have like Dung the dastardly other consort, which is like very. It's very Chinese drama. It's very like that guy. Who's that shitty guy from Downton Abbey? I know this is like an old reference. You know, there's the
You love
No,
to
yeah,
make
the
a 2010
downstairs guy
reference.
from Downton Abbey.
the shitty servant guy with the
Yeah.
face and
Yes.
like
He's got a weasel
ultimately
face on him.
redeemed. He's redeemed. Thomas, is it Thomas? Is that his name?
Yeah, I
don't
think
remember.
so. I think
Nobody
his
can
name was
help
Thomas.
you here, Craig.
There's
who
always
Dung is.
one of
Yeah.
those. It's like it's somebody who is of lower station, who has aspirations within that kind of crappy power structure,
And who has
And
scrabbled up to the position they're in.
and is
Yeah.
is in a precarious state for whatever
Yes.
their reasons are, and so like they have a lot to lose relative to where they are, and then like the plot comes through and is like your life doesn't matter. Like the book
Right.
comes through and is like you're actually not important. And they lash out however they see fit, and like
Yeah.
that was an interesting like complication in the first third of this book.
Yeah.
And they also like get redeemed a little bit. But when he's getting buffed up, he learns that the prince will probably only ask
Jun.
him for
Jun
two
getting buffed
things.
up, yeah.
Oh yes, sorry. Oh yes. So yeah, he's getting buffed up for the prince. He learns that he'll probably only be asked for like two things, and so he needs to learn how to make tea. He kind of gives him a crash course on how to make tea in different, vessels and whatever.
and
and
catch
then-
snakes.
And then Jen is like, what's the other thing? And the guy's like, well, you're not really my first pick for this, but you just got to muddle through on the second thing. My only advice is use the little bottle of stuff that's on the side table. Just don't
Ceramic
skip that.
jar.
I loved it.
Full of lemonade, I guess.
What did you just say?
It's
It's just got lemonade in it. It's
Oh, okay.
just so they stay hydrated.
Uh-huh.
No, it's
Yeah.
he gives
Got
them the
electrolytes.
rundown on the T and the D. These are the two things that he's expected to provide. as
That's
the
exactly
courtesan.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sabrina's face.
I'm obsessed with that. Continue.
The light
wow,
that
that
came
was-
on in your eyes when that happened was beautiful.
What a quality statement, Wow.
Yeah. He's also told that he has to bow down immediately, hit his knees, and he can't get up until the prince invites him to. He has to call him your majesty, it's a whole thing. Your highness, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And as soon as he walks in, he's like, oh my gosh, he is the boy I met in the stable, Shu. But it's not he's hot in a totally different, very regal kind of way. And he says, he prostrates himself immediately. And the prince is like, stop calling me your highness, please. You can call me by my name. And he's like, no, I definitely cannot do that. And please don't ask me to, because I'll get punished or whatever. And he's like, okay, well then fine. He does say that he didn't lie to him, that his given name is Shu Xian. And so he prefers going by Xian, but he would prefer him to call him by his name, Shu or whatever. So he's very Jun is really worried about this, obviously, because he doesn't know any of the rules. You know, he's not trained in this. He tries to make him some tea. It's awful.
And he does make tea if the definition of tea is leaves in water.
Yeah, he
water.
put leaf in hot water, but that's about all he know how to do.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where, like, Sian really, really messes with the power imbalance quite a bit, because he's like, you've never done this before, have you? Don't worry. My mother is the daughter of tea farmers, and so I'm going to show you how to make a bunch of tea. I'd be a really terrible person if I didn't know my lineage.
Mm-hmm.
And then they end up talking some more that evening, and this is when Jun finds out why Sian is here. And the reason that Sian asked for him to be his courtesan attendant while he is here is because he knows the surrounding forest, and he's here to catch snakes. This ends up obviously freaking out our precious baby little snake spirit, who immediately gets a nosebleed from stress.
He does.
Yeah.
I do like that. He has the most anime reaction that you could possibly.
He does.
It's true.
One giant bead of sweat appears on his head, and he gets a nosebleed.
Yeah, it's really cute. And so Sian immediately like cares for him. He's like wiping his nose with his own royal sleeve and
It's
stuff.
very tender, yeah. Mhm.
It is. It's really, really tender. And then he's like, okay, well, I'm going to go to bed. And Jun is like, oh, what?
Oh.
You're just going to
about
bed?
What about the
I don't
ceramic
understand
pot?
why I'm disappointed. Yeah, but I am disappointed.
Exactly.
Is this what humans call disappointment? Like,
Yeah.
Is this at what point in this interaction does Jun realize that this is the little boy that he left on the island and took the pearl from? Like it's in this. It's pretty. Like most things in this book, it happens pretty quick. It's like the next
Yeah,
day.
it's the second night they're together. He teaches him how to play a game.
they play Go. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. And then afterwards, he's like, oh, yeah, let me show you all of the stuff that I'm going to use on the hunt, all of my
my cool snake
catching
catching
gear.
equipment. Yeah,
Right. And Jun can smell like old snake blood on it. And so he immediately like freaks out. And then he's like, yeah, I'm after a white snake in particular because my mom is sick. And then that's when he realizes that this is the boy that had the pearl, and he already knew him, but he doesn't look anything the same. And he freaks out, and he feels terrible. And he immediately decides, like, we have to go. Like, we have to escape.
I got to get my sister out of here. Yep,
Right.
Yep.
Right, yeah. So the next day, he tries to get Ching and like talk her into getting her shit and leaving today, right now.
Yeah.
But he gets waylaid by Dung, who says that he needs to like train him in more courtesan stuff. So
Yeah, I'm gonna help
that's what
you.
happens.
I'm gonna be
Yes.
super helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Except that when he gets him into the courtesan training center, he immediately takes him into a storage room and clocks him one good.
Yeah.
And he beats him to fuck, and he explains, he does a villain monologue while he's really just
he does do
knocking
it,
him one
yeah.
good. And so he's like, the one thing that my abusive dad told me when he drank and beat me, and he taught me that you can hit somebody and not leave any marks. And so that's what I'm doing to you right now, because I've trained for this. I didn't risk everything to become a courtesan just to have some stable boy come and usurp the first good assignment I was going to get. And so, yeah, he beats them all to hell. And Jun wakes up in the infirmary.
Yeah. And Dung is also like, if you tattle on me, everybody will back me up. And nobody
Which
knows
is
who you are. Yeah.
Unfortunately, a miscalculation on Doug's part.
Well, because he doesn't know that Sian is such a Sherlock Holmes. Because
He is a Sherlock Holmes.
for
yeah.
the record, Jun does not say anything. He's like, I have
Says
a
nothing.
blood disorder, and that's why this is happening to me. But Sian and Feng both are like, wow, you're lying really hard right now. And it's embarrassing for both of us, frankly, because you're so bad at lying.
But it's also endearing this time. the line
Yes.
that you're doing.
Yeah.
Next time it won't be so endearing.
Yeah.
But
Things I didn't know about. If you lie to a prince and get caught, you get 80 lashes with a heavy stick.
yeah.
There's
The
like
heavy
different
stick.
punishments.
There's different sticks.
Yeah.
They have different punishment sticks, and also they keep track of everybody you're related to, so they know exactly what like degree of relative to kill based on the crime that you did.
Yes. Oh my God. I would.
Jinky.
Yeah. I'd keep my family on a tight ass leash.
Yeah, man, you have some
They'd be like,
stupid
"Okay, you wanna
some
go do
cousin that
something?"
you
I'll be
didn't
like,
like.
Who let you out of the cellar? Get back in there. This is not a democracy.
Yeah, you tried to buy a 6-pack underage, and now I'm gonna get killed.
Yes.
Just because I'm your cousin. Like, come on.
Exactly.
Just because a prince was working at the store and you lied to him.
Cigarettes.
Yeah.
But so Cian ends up dragging Dung in front of Cian drags Dung in front of him and is like, so I know that he did it. Why'd you lie to me about this? And
And
Jun's
do you forgive him? And Jun is like, I forgive him so much, and real sincerely and immediately, and like, please don't hurt him.
Well, and one of the things that Jun says regarding everything, because Cian's like, why did you have empathy for him? Like, he hurt you bad. And he said, somebody wise once told me why each half of the yin-yang circle has a small dot of the other color. It means that in every choice, we have to consider the good of the other person in some small way. Only then will things turn out well. You'll understand why this is so messed up, listener, later, but the tortoise is the one who told him that when he was a little snaky boy. But this ends up becoming a recurring theme throughout the book. This idea of mercy and empathy and acknowledging that what you did was wrong, but you don't deserve.
But in the grand scheme of things,
Yeah. And Ziana has this, like, he's been brought up in this sort of treacherous royal court situation. Like, he was kidnapped by these mercenaries. He was left on this island. A snake stole his cool pearl from him. Like, he has got a mindset where it's like, oh, well, okay, it's every person for themselves. Like, that's what I need to worry about first. Yeah.
Yeah, his older brother lured him into a closet so he could stab him in the leg with an arrow when he was 6.
Yeah.
Like,
for fun.
it's been...
So the title of this book is Legend of the White Snake, but the alternate title is Two Boys Cannot Catch a Break.
Truly.
Like start to finish.
Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe, just maybe, they can catch a snake.
There we
end.
go. Can't catch a break. Can catch a snake.
Oh my God. Who's gonna write the background chords to this? What? It's a poem.
Yeah, absolutely. So over the next couple of days, he is cared for in the infirmary, and Cian is very worried about him the whole time. And then once he gets back into the room, right? Once he's let out of the infirmary, it's pretty much go time from there to start the snake hunt. And right before that, he's talking to his sister, and she's like, so have you made out? Has anything happened? And he's like, no, no. I don't think he's interested in me like that. And she says, I saw the way he looked at you in the infirmary, but I'm telling you right now, you're going to have to make the first move if that's what you want. And he's like, are you giving me love advice right now? And she's like, boys are dumb. I don't know. What do you want from me? And just then, a gong sounds and Dung is led into this, open air area. And it's time for his punishment. And they find out that for the crime of hurting someone for revenge, he gets 40 lashes with a light stick. But it turns out that's actually not much better than 80 lashes with a heavy stick. It's real bad. He's bleeding from all over, from his back down to his thighs. It's terrible. And then he's left to hang there all night.
You got to leave him there for a little while so anybody can just know that it's happening.
Good God.
Yep.
Yeah, cautionary tale to everyone in the castle.
And this is when Jean ends up shifting into his little snaky
He goes
form
snake mode.
that night.
And he has to be really careful. He has to be really careful because Sian has invited him to share his bed for his internal injuries. You know, it's more comfy than the cot
they have
he
a
was
pillow
sleeping in
wall.
before.
They do have a pillow
cute.
wall.
There's a
He
pillow
puts
wall.
up a pillow wall. It's the cutest.
Oh my God. And then Cian has to go outside and meditate because the horny is too much.
Yeah, that also has to happen. Yeah, he's overcome and he can't handle it. But after that, Jun leaves in the middle of the night so that he can snake out, go to snake mode. Is that what you said?
I said snake mode. He goes into snake mode.
Snake on.
Yeah. So that he can go and relieve Dung a little bit and just like loosen the ties so that he's not literally hanging, so that he can actually like get some weight on his feet and make it a little bit more bearable until the morning.
Which is spooky because a big snake rolls up on him and is like,
Okay, so I had not realized.
I'm gonna loosen the straps.
I hadn't really thought about how big a full-grown python was until way later in the book, because I was watching this and I was like, oh man, poor Dung. Oh, and then later in the book when I realized, oh my God, no, he's a fuck off big python.
He's a big snake.
Oh,
Big
I get
snake.
it now, because they describe it when he ends up shifting later in the book in front of people, that when he is like perked up and looking at them and perched on his tail, he is the size, like half the size of a full-grown man.
Yeah, it's
And
a
I'm
12-foot python minimum.
And
He's
I'm
a
like,
good like
oh,
foot
I
in
get it.
diameter at the heaviest part of his trunk. You know what I mean?
Honestly, there's the explicit comment that Jun is like, oh yeah, he's not making noise because he thinks like he doesn't want his punishment to be worse for making noise while he's here
Making a
in
scene.
the
Yeah.
stocks, basically.
Waking somebody up.
And I'm like, okay, I'll take whatever it is that they've got to give me so that whatever's happening here isn't happening anymore. I die either way.
He also says to himself, it would be way easier to like slither up his body, but the whole point is to help him, not kill him from fright.
Yeah, that would creep
So
him
like
out
I'll
more.
take
I'm not
the
gonna
long
do that.
way.
The long
Yeah,
way.
seems like I will take the long
Scenic
way.
route.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then as soon as he gets back and shifts into his human form and gets dressed, he walks out from behind this tree and Fahai is there. And he's like, what you doing? Have you been sneaky lately? And he's like, what? No, I don't know what you're talking
I don't know.
about.
I have no
I'm
idea what you're
I'm
talking
a real
about."
boy. Yeah, what? Sabrina?
And this is the point where I went,
Ooh.
is Fahai a bad guy?
Oh.
Except my first thought was that not that he was going to be what he ended up being. I thought he is purposefully, I couldn't figure out why, but my suspicion was that he was purposefully keeping Cian's mom sick for some reason.
Ooh, yeah, sure.
That was
Sure,
my
sure, sure.
suspicion. I was wrong. Super
Well,
wrong.
You kind of weren't wrong.
Maybe
you
by the
kinda-
scenic route.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. If you zhuzh it a bit, you weren't wrong.
You know what? I'll accept it. Thank you so much, Melody. Thank you for allowing my little Holmes moment, you know?
Yeah. Well, so then they have to go out on this snake hunt, and everybody's got their own steed, okay? And they're going out there, and the whole time, Jun is trying to like low-key be like, everybody stay away. This is not safe. Like, we're not here to help you.
Broadcasting on the snake frequency.
Yeah, he's
Yes,
got this
yes.
Everybody who can hear
The-
snake right now.
Twilight hiss. Yeah.
Just go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately they had a little eavesdropper because a lot of the snakes do run away. One little white snake does the worst possible thing and pops out onto the trail
I am
in
this
front of
white
them.
snake.
Come on, man.
This
Same.
white snake.
I am the white snake. I fully understood how this happened because
I'm
like
gonna
the panic.
and blunder right into the danger. That's what's gonna happen.
And while everyone's going after the little white snake, kapow, the leopard was like eavesdropping or something.
Yeah,
was like,
leopard was there.
lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
And Fungus
And
lunch.
leopards are the strongest cats in the jungle. Turns out,
Yeah.
he says. tells us that.
And then Jun tells the leopard, hey, could you not eat these guys? And the leopard's like, oh, I guess. And then he leaves.
Well, first he
Not before
mauls
taking a
Fung.
Not
He does maul Fung,
lightly
and he
mauling
does
a
like
couple of
whack the
people.
leopard with a big stick.
Yeah.
Because he
With his-
knows snake
because he has
martial arts
snake
or whatever.
Spirits, right? He has snake spirit
Yeah.
strength. Is that a thing?
Yes.
That I remember?
Well,
Okay.
that's something that we kind of glossed over that at
It's
the,
like
at the bar
implied,
fight
right?
too.
Oh,
he
yeah.
can do like extra special snake martial arts, or
Yes.
I don't know that it's like a specific discipline as much as he is quick and strong because he's a snake.
Nimble.
Yeah, well, and he uses
Right.
his knowledge of the
He's
animal
slithery.
kingdom to know the glowing weak point on this.
Yes, he
leopard.
found the glowing weak
Yeah.
point. Yes.
He also just got the leopard's attention and said, hey, these guys are going to really mess you up if you don't leave
Yeah.
right now. And the
Yeah,
leopard
that's
was like,
true.
oh.
Well,
Bad planners, lepers.
meanwhile, the book says like he doesn't know what sound came out of his mouth, and I just imagined him standing there going "Wow, wow, meow," in front of like all these guys, and having them be like, "No, that's totally chill. No, we totally understand why you did that. There's nothing
Yeah.
suspicious there."
I just stepped
What
on
a
something.
things you
It's fine.
yell in the heat of battle, you know?
Listen, I'm not gonna say I don't sound like that when I can't find my words and I'm trying to fuss my dogs about something.
You know what?
And
Yeah.
like that's
That's fair.
relatable, 100%. But they get back and Cian spends most of the evening checking in on Fung, making sure everything's good to go. And then when he gets back, Jun's like, "Hey, you want a bath?"
Can I draw you a bath, Your Highness?
And this is the moment where I went, oh my God, this is so horny, because the
It's
lead
so
up to
horny.
him getting in the bath and then other things happening in bath, I was like, oh my God, it's on TM.
Yeah.
And then I went, whoa, 17.
17.
Don't want to
17.
see it. Don't want to see it. Well, because it's in Jun's head, and he's like, he's seen him undressed before, but he's going to be naked for so much longer this time with the bath situation. And then he's like, he is in charge of scrubbing him. And he's like, how long can I wax on and wax off of his chest before I have to go lower? Like, what?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
no.
it's really, she's really like, Lee is really doing a good job of like, we're acknowledging what's happening, but we don't need to get too graphic about it. Like,
gonna show
the
yes.
characters, like she is like constantly writing in such a way that we know that the characters know what's going on in a way
Yeah.
that is like interesting. It
It was never uncomfortable for me. He does.
he knows
does.
what is physically possible.
Yeah.
Whether or not he's done it before, I don't know.
No, he has not.
but,
He
like-
explicitly says he has not, as an
Yeah,
animal
yeah.
or as a human.
Well, and
That's
then
true.
when they actually have done things like very slightly later, he is talking about how there are like muscles that he doesn't even know about that
Yes.
that like
Yes.
he always felt like
That's
held
called
his
the
human body
sphincter.
at a small remove and didn't feel like super connected to it, but now he feels connected to it.
Yeah, he feels like the human body's always been an alien thing to him. But after being with Cian, he's just like knit into himself now. Ugh. Okay, wait. But there are a couple of things that happen in the lead up
Yes.
to this
Yes.
that really made me happy from a heaving bosoms perspective.
Sure.
The first one is that as he's like thinking about going south a bit, like, oh no, what do I do with washing him? Cian grabs his wrist and stops him, and they make eye contact, and they sort of non-verbally ask each other, is this happening right now, you know? And then one of the things from early in the podcast that I always said I loved is when a duke gives you leave to use his Christian name. And in this case, this is a duke demanding that you use his Christian name.
Yep.
Because Cian looks at him and he's like, say my name. And he's like, Shu? And he's like, no, I need you
The
to
other
say
one?
my name. I want to hear it, he says. And once he says Cian vaults out of that bathtub, will not even accept a towel because he's just like so rawr about it. And then it very, very quickly fades to black, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But I love the demanding that he use his first name because, like, we're gonna acknowledge this intimacy before anything else happens. We have to pull down all of the barriers.
Yeah, we smartly built to that in previous scenes where Jun is still trying to default to, like, you know, Your Highness or whatever, and
or he'll say it cheekily.
Yeah.
Well, and
so yeah, that pays off here.
Even on top of that, one of the things I liked most about this scene is it's very clear that Cian has the power in this power imbalance. Yeah. And Jun is the one who goes for it because he remembers what Chang said and was like, I need to do this. And so he is the one who kisses him and initiates. And I was like, what an effective way to just slide on past the problematic, like
absolutely,
the questions in this scene of.
And it's an interesting inversion of the folktale too, right? Where like so many of the older versions of the folktale are the snake demon like shows up and does seduction,
like tricks a guy, and
is tricking people, and is the fact that the royal human retains the power in a relationship with a literal snake spirit, who then has to like kind of grow up enough in a way to make the first move between both of them. And the whole time we're also getting little like drip drops of like, this is different than anything Cian's done before. Like, that's another important element to them, is that yes, he has run around in, you know, commoner disguise to get laid before, but this is like a different type of, you know, interaction, and
most definitely
so he is not even behaving the way that he normally would. It's just an interesting power thing.
Yeah, the feelings he's having are brand new. And then actually before it fades to black, we do have a really lovely consent check-in because Cian can tell that Jun is nervous, and Jun just says like, I've never. And Cian says, we don't have to do anything. And in response, Jun reaches over and grabs that little ceramic jar and he pushes it into Cian's hand and he says, I want to. And it's really gorgeous. And that jar pays off. You know what I mean? And that was also really cute. It was a nice little weird payoff. Okay, and now I have a really scientific question for you.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
We sort of referenced it earlier.
We're all scientists here, of course, obviously.
We're like 100% sure the roles in this relationship, right? Like I wanted to think to myself, in a few years when I think about Cian as a sexual adult, not now, for sure, not now. But when I think about Cian as a sexual adult, he's only topping, right?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know what I actually think, because you know,
I kind of think he's a
like
switch,
a couple
but
of
there's
years
so much
later,
ingrained. There's so much.
There's a lot of ingrained, but he also wants to push back against that a lot of the time. Like he is doing a lot to
this
push
is
back
the one in
against-
the Game Changer series with Scott and Kip. I think that probably Cian has always been the top, and I'm like through the power of love, he'll catch snakes for Jun, you know?
Yes. You want to know one thing I know for certain? Until that happens, Jun is a sneaky power bottom. And that is canon. And unless you have a really good argument, I'm taking no questions.
500 years of cultivation. That's some power that
power
he has.
bottom.
He has a lot of power.
He does.
He can transmute into a top, but only for a day.
Oh my god!
Yes.
Only for 24 hours.
Yes, that's the answer. This is it. You solved it.
You did. That's where we're going to stop for today. We'll be back tomorrow with more of this gorgeous folktale retelling. Ugh, these boys are so cute together. Heaving Bosoms is produced by us, Melody Carlisle and Sabrina Bradley. Editing is done by me, Melody Carlisle.
Our theme music is by the incredible singer-songwriter Brittany Fonts, and our art is by the ultra-talented author Kate Pryor. If you like our show, remember to follow us on your favorite podcast app, rate us 5 stars, and leave a review. That one small action is a huge way to help the show. If you want to get in touch with us for advertising inquiries or anything else, you can email us at heavingbosomespodcast@gmail.com. If you want more of us, visit patreon.com/heavingbosomspodcast. You can also find us on Instagram at Heaving Bosoms, on TikTok at Heaving_Bosoms, and in our Facebook group, the Heaving Bosoms Geriatric Friendship Cult. See you tomorrow.